Welcome.
You are watching Line Screw 1. On this episode, we had 150 miles on the Alaska Highway, or as you Americans call it, the Alcan Highway, to the remote Kluane National Park area, where we explore an abandoned prospector's cabin and the unique and abandoned city of Silver City on the shores of Kluane Lake. So join me. I mean, check this out. Come on. It's unbelievable. And the air is just so crisp and clean. And I am standing on the Alaska Highway. I didn't bring bear spray, but look how dead the traffic is. Once you get past Haines Junction, which is the cutoff to go to Haines, Alaska, not much traffic. This is not tourist season yet. The funny thing is it's so quiet right now that if there is a car coming, you can hear it coming a couple miles away. God, you gotta love the Yukon. But there are more grizzly bears per square mile here than anywhere else in Canada. And they're all just coming out of their dens. And of course, the mama bears are coming out last with their cubs. You don't want to run into one of those. But maybe we'll get lucky and spot some big game today. Hard to say. But in the meantime, just check out this absolute gorgeous day and the gorgeous scenery. It's mind-blowing. And this is the time to be up in the Yukon before all the tourists get here. I think it's about 10 degrees Celsius, so almost 50 Fahrenheit. Wonderful. Well, it's a little windy here today in Kluane National Park, but look what I found. An abandoned old prospector or settler's cabin. It looks really abandoned. So let's check it out. Oh, I heard a bird. I heard a bird. Check this out. Wow, this was obviously made by hand. That's a cool way of constructing. Makes perfect sense. Avoids the use of nails. That's awesome. Now, I imagine it is secured because it's probably designed for... it's probably secured because it's a historical piece of architecture. Oh, yeah, of course, it's got a lock in here. Let me see if I can see through the hole. Oh, let's see if I can stick the camera through the hole. What do I see? I see shelves, tables, some old furniture. Looks like somebody was living there once. And it looks like they might have had electricity at one point because they did wire it. See, there's a light socket. And oh, look at this. Oh, here, we can see inside from here. The window has been broken out. Look at that. Bedroom in the back. Looks like local kids were partying in here. Well, at least got a roof. Keep you out of the weather. And we got a shed with a mannequin. It's a little creepy. Look at that. It's a little creepy. Oh, somebody's got a sense of humor. A computer. The monitor. Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Somebody's got a sense of humor. That's awesome. Guess they probably store some of their stuff in here. That cabin is of fair size. It's enough to, you know, keep a couple people out of the weather during the winter. That's awesome. And take a look here. That's Kluane Lake. I believe it's the biggest lake in the Yukon. And this is the old Alaska Highway roadbed, the original one. The new highway's over there. And man, what a beautiful day it is here. Absolutely gorgeous day here in Kluane. And there is often bighorn sheep up on that ledges of the cliffs. Looks like there's other people pulled off on the side of the highway waiting to look for bighorn sheep, because that's where they'd be hanging out, right up there away from the predators. I don't see any milling about. Wow, what a day. This is Silver City, the Yukon's biggest abandoned ghost town. Well, I guess all ghost towns are abandoned, aren't they? That's why they're ghost towns. But look at that old cabin. That's something. Let's go check out the rest of what's left at Silver City. I don't remember ever coming here as a kid. This is near Kluane Lake in southern Yukon. Yeah, let's go check it out. Well, we made it here to Silver City, the Yukon's biggest ghost town. And it is ghostly. All the buildings are in ruins, all handmade log cabins. Let's check them out. Look at this structure. Looks like some of them were fairly big. Wow. Well, the beauty of living in the Yukon back in the day is you could just build your own house and you had someplace to live, and you needed someplace to live during the winter. Yeah, wow, look at that. Honey, I'm home. Now, if this was a lot closer to civilization, somebody would have burned this to the ground. You know how that works. Oh wow, we got more over here. Let's go check that out over there. Oh, in fact, there are structures all over the place. Oh, look at that. There's a moth or a butterfly. Wow. I would imagine that these have been picked through for artifacts. But looky here, we do have some artifacts, some of the bigger stuff that can't be removed. This is an old truck frame. Look at that. Okay, well, any of you that are vintage truck people, anybody want to venture a guess from based on the frame, the transmission, and the engine? What's that, like a flat 1, 2, 3? It's a straight 6. Even I can figure out that's a straight 6 engine. Wow, look at that. Anybody needs parts, come here to the Yukon and grab it. I don't know, it's probably protected by law, who knows. But look at that, that's amazing. And the only reason somebody hasn't taken this is because it's here. But look at this. This was like a community at one time. The thing I don't understand, though, if you're going to build log cabins or houses, why build them so close? Well, I guess this was a city at one point. Because if this was rural back in the day, you got a lot of land. But I guess it was a city. I really have no idea how big it was. I did not read on the internet about this place before I arrived. I literally just saw it on the map and figured I would come. So yeah, I saw it on Google Map, and then there were some links about how it's an old ghost town, and I figured, hey, let's go find it. Now we've got another structure here. Looks like it's doing the lean. Guess how these things deteriorate is the roof goes first and then they start leaning. Of course, keep in mind that there is permafrost that's non-continuous permafrost. So if anything is built on permafrost or non-continuous permafrost, as the land underneath the structure warms up, the building will shift and collapse. So not a great idea to build on permafrost. But if you just need a home for a year or two, I guess who cares about the permafrost? But yeah, there. I don't want to go inside any of these structures because, oh, it's fairly big. It goes back. I don't want a log hit me in the head. Plus, could be some sort of creatures wintering over inside to fight off some raccoons or something. Anyway, let's continue through Silver City and see what else is there. I wonder if there's any structures left that are closer to Kluane Lake. Let's go find out. And it looks like there's a lot of structures all over the place here, or the remnants of them, as in behind me. But if you look around the forest, there are the remains of many structures. And look, even over here, these ones are completely pancaked. At least they look that way, unless this was a foundation of some sort that they built on wood. Yeah, you never know. Yeah, I don't know if that was once a roof that pancaked, or if that was a wood foundation and then the structure was built on top of it, which has since been removed. Yeah, and there's another structure back there too. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And this is the best part. Man, this is wonderful weather. Wonderful weather. I mean, and I'm here before all the other tourist seasons. You know, rubberneckers have showed up, so I pretty much got this place to myself. But that's the risk of posting anything on YouTube, is that some people that are not respectful come here and do things to these artifacts. But yeah, look at that. Another one's collapsed. And this one here, yeah, this has got to be a roof. Yeah, this definitely was a structure that has just fallen down, I believe. But wait a minute. Yeah, no, that looks like it was like some sort of deck or wooden foundation, and the structure or a tent was probably placed on top, because canvas tents were also popular. But the problem with the tent is the heat, especially if you had, you know, permafrost or non-continuous permafrost underneath the structure. Anything, even a tent, would heat the ground up, melt the ground, and the ground would turn into muck. So if you had a barrier like a wood platform, often, you know, you build them on stilts. That's another way of doing it. So there's an air barrier. But if you built a deck of some sort and then put your tent on it, a lot less heat would transfer from the bottom of the tent into the ground, causing less problems in terms of the permafrost melting. If you go really far north to places like Inuvik or Old Crow, where they have lots of permafrost, they pretty much have to build above it on stilts, and their utilities are on utility corridors. They can't bury their utilities because it's all permafrost. So they basically heat these utility corridors where the water gets to the buildings and the sewer. It's a different way of building up here in the north, that you have to get around the permafrost issues. Luckily, a lot of southern Yukon doesn't have permafrost, or it's discontinuous, so it's not uniform everywhere in the soil. There, look at that. Now this obviously had a floor and had a ceiling. Now, is that a glass window or a screen? Oh, this is a screen window. That looks like there's a screen window still intact. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, and trust me, during mosquito season, you need screens. But look at the screen windows are still intact on this structure. That's awesome. Okay, we're looking towards Kluane Lake, and it looks like somebody actually built a house out there. So let's go out there. We'll try to respect their private property and turn around before we get in their yard. But let's see what else is out there, because it looks like there's just a lot of structures hidden in the forest. And if you look at these trees, trees grow very slow in this climate, so don't be fooled in thinking that these are all young. But I get the feeling this was all cleared when Silver City existed, and after everybody left Silver City, these trees naturally came in, and nature will take Silver City back. But yeah, you look throughout the back of the shot here, and there's a lot of artifacts, signs that people lived here. The question is, why is it called Silver City? Were they mining silver here? There is silver in the Yukon, and gold, of course. That's why the Klondike happened here. But a lot of people, after the Klondike gold rush ended 1898, there was no work, no jobs, nothing to do. So some people stayed and kind of roughed out an existence. And some people that stayed, they made a living prospecting, trapping animals, maybe a little bit of subsistence farming during the short growing season in the summer, and fishing. I mean, if you're willing to work hard in the Yukon, even back then, if you had enough basic supplies and equipment and you're willing to work hard, you could build a structure, you could gather food and get ready for the long winter. And that includes a lot of firewood. After you finish building your structure, you build an outhouse, and then you build a food cache so that the bears can't get into your food. And then you start provisioning. You start catching fish, drying fish, catching game, wild berries. In fact, I have encountered some really good wild berries, even wild blueberries. There are very limited areas up here, but it does exist. If you find a good berry patch, the bears know they're there too. So I remember picking berries in the summer, and we had to take turns that there was people watching for bears while everybody else was picking, which makes sense, because if you're busy picking, the bears are going to be there. I mean, the bears are going to encounter you, and they're going to chase you away from their wonderful berry patch, because berries is like the candy of the forest, and the bears know where all the good stuff is. So let's continue up to Kluane Lake. Okay, we've come to the lake, and that looks like the end of the road. And this is a cool little piece of property where they rent cabins. Looks pretty awesome. So if you want to come here, we will respect their private property. But look, they got a couple houses and 4 cabins, picnic tables, the whole 9 yards. And this looks like another little artifact left from Silver City, that little storage, or maybe even people lived in. Some cabins were really small that people lived in. But gorgeous day. The sun is fading a little bit. Not that it's late in the day, but the clouds are kind of taking away some of the sunlight. And as you can tell, Kluane Lake is in the process of melting. So from the land of the midnight sun here in Canada's Yukon, put your comments down below. And as always, keep your wheels on the ground, and I'll talk to you soon. Over and out.